What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel here from the GeekSpeakNation channel, and today we're here to check out the final episode of the Night City Wire. Now, before we start this video, I just want to say, I created this channel 5 years ago because I wanted to create constructive discussions about the things that I love. Video games, movies, TV shows, you name it, pop culture wise. If I love it, I want to have a discussion about it. Whether we're talking about the good or bad of something, I want to create constructive conversations where people of differing opinions can talk about things and grow with each other. Now, I understand that the Cyberpunk fan base is kind of like people who have a sports team, right? Where, no matter what, you always want to represent them, through thick and through thin. Every decision that they make, it feels personal to you, even though you're not technically on the team. I get it. There's a lot of passion in that regard, but I just wanted to put out the reminder of, look, I'm not here to blindly support something. Or to blindly love Cyberpunk or blindly love CD Projekt Red. I'm going to talk about certain critical aspects or talk about certain things I don't like, either whether or not I am wrong or right in the moment. I'm going to talk about those things. And I know that rubs a lot of the Cyberpunk community the wrong way, or at least the very vocal minority, specifically the ones who like to, call me the N-word or make fun of me and say all these racially charged things just because I have a difference of opinion, and they just want to verbally abuse me and insult me in every single way that they can because I have a difference of opinion. And this channel is not for them. This channel is for you guys who just care about the things that you enjoy and want to have discussions about them. But yeah, I just want to put the kind of reminder out there that that's what this is about, because that's what this is about, because I understand a lot of people are here to just hear me talk about Cyberpunk, a lot of new subscribers, and that's all they're here to see discussions be had about. But at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it honest about how I feel about this game. I could become a channel that makes nothing but Cyberpunk videos and says nothing but the highest praises and can get a whole bunch of views from just blindly loving the game and talking about every tweet and talking about every interview and all that stuff. But that's just not something I feel comfortable with, even though it'd be incredibly successful for my channel. And my God, I want my channel to do better. But integrity matters to me, and staying true to what I believe in or what I say matters to me. So I'm always going to be honest with you guys about how I feel. And I'm not going to become a channel that just blindly hates on the game to be, anti-establishment, anti-trend, anti-mainstream, just for the sake of getting views or anything like that. It's not what this is about. I just want to have genuine discussions. And I've been getting a lot of hate, a lot of hate that I have to delete from the channel because it doesn't, move discussions forward. But yeah, I just want to put that out there, guys, that of why we're doing this and why I created this channel. Just remind you guys just to be excellent to one another. Don't be good, don't be nice, don't be okay. Be excellent to one another, because we've got enough negativity in the world in 2020. So why not just be positive in the discussions that we're having about the things that we love or that we're passionate about? Okay, that's all I got to say. Now let's get into the video. I wonder if in the world of Cyberpunk, if they have created glasses that do not smudge. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Just glasses impervious to damage or smudging would be beautiful. You don't believe in no fate. Every day digging the grave. Stepping up to what it takes. City of dreams, city of... Here we go.
Hello and welcome to Night City Wire episode 5, the show from us at CD Projekt Red, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077.
Hi, Holly.
Now we're going to start today's episode with a new trailer that will take a closer look at Johnny Silverhand before we go behind the scenes with Keanu Reeves and have a chat to English adaptation director Boris, who will tell us exactly what it was like to work with him. Then we'll be exploring the original score and talking about some of the radio
Ooh, this is
stations
exciting.
you might listen
I want to hear about
while
the
driving
score.
around Night City. Before we
Just
take a
mentioned that
look
in my
at
last
the
video.
Jolly technology, which is powering facial animation in Cyberpunk, and unveil a new My Reward scheme, which anyone can take part in, no matter which platform you'll be playing Cyberpunk on. We'll then wrap up today's episode with a brand new gameplay trailer. It's a busy episode, and it will be our final episode of Night City Wire before the game launches on December 10th. So,
big rip, guys.
Let's get going.
It's been a journey. It's been a lot of fun doing these. Let's go out with a bang. Oh, they're pulling out all the stops though. They're pulling out Keanu Reeves. You know.
How are we even talking? Gotta get out of here. Understand? And I'll kill anyone who gets in my way.
You weren't dreaming, V. Those were memories.
You two are connected in a way I can't make head or tail of. Who? Me and who, Vic? Silverhand.
Johnny Silverhand. Real talk of the town back in my day.
He died, like, forever ago.
You mean to say there's an actual terrorist in my head, right now?
He'd burn down half the city just to prove he was right. And burn the other half just for fun.
What do you want from me? Destroy Arasaka. I don't even know what that means. Do whatever it takes to stop him, defeat him, gut him.
He already tried to take over your body. You know, just for a little while.
Hear me, asshole? A bullet to the fucking brain. Get out! Just get the fuck out! Tell me how to get rid of it.
You don't have much time left.
Oh my god, this song goes so
You're
hard.
a dick, you know? And you're a cunt. Maybe we'll fit together after all.
Oh, Keanu.
Sometimes we
We
like
love
to
you.
share things with you, and other times we like to keep secrets, and it can be worth it for that big reveal. Pretty sure nobody was expecting to see Keanu Reeves on stage at E3 2019. So let's go behind the scenes to see how Keanu Reeves brought rocker boy Johnny Silverhand to life. You could say it's breathtaking.
Cyberpunk 2077, Johnny Silverhand. I've had the opportunity to do voiceover a few times. I'd worked on a cartoon. I had done some documentaries. I'd never done this much. You know you don't gotta speak out loud to talk to me. And I've processed some shit. Changed my mind. Don't want you dead anymore. You know, and got to play a character in so many kind of different ways because of different paths or threads or choices. So you almost get to play one moment, say you have a decision. Would you take a bullet for it? With 3 different behavioral attitudes. So that was fun. You know, Johnny's either a dick, or he's happy, or he's trying to convince. Know why? Because you've always been a fucking pussy, Carrie. So it's been fun, and that was kind of what I was interested in. You know, the different options that the game could play. You know, playing the same person, but with different versions of them. Motion capture, baby. Johnny Silverhand. So one of the first elements that I was involved in with the game was motion capture. I've done a fair bit of motion capture. I did it with in the Matrix films.
Hey!
To start doing the motion capture for Johnny, it was all very familiar to me. The only difference, I think, technologically was how close they were going to real-time review. But creatively, it was very familiar in the sense of starting a library of gesture and the toolbox, let's say, for the animators to work with for the character.
Wow. Yeah.
So you get to see Johnny as the rock star. You know, you hear about his military past, you know, and he's fighting for his survival. So he's kind of got all of these things leading into the moment of this guy. It's really a kind of an
God, I'd
interpretation,
love to
'cause I
be
think there's a Johnny
present for a
Silverhand
motion
in all
capture
of us.
session in
He's got a
general.
lot
This is
of
just so
energy.
cool.
He's got a good sense of humor, if not a little dark at times. He's very passionate. He cares. You know, it's he's kind of naive, but he's also super experienced in life. He's got certainly an appetite for life.
No, you're wrong.
He wants to change the world, you know? He has a cause that he wants to fight against the corpocracy.
Come on. Don't tell me you're not
He's
interested.
kind of looking for a different kind of freedom.
Corps have long controlled our lives, taken lots. And now they're after our souls.
At
least I believed in such things.
Bruh. And
What CD Projekt Red has shared with me in the way that they talk about the game and what I've seen is that it's got a lot of freedom. There's so many different paths that you can play the game on. But it's not just quests of paths. It's like, who are you? How do you want to play the character?
If I gotta kill, I'll kill. If I need your body, I'll fucking take it.
You can go into action, you can go into mystery, you can problem solve in different ways. And where you go in this world, there's so much detail, there's so many different things that you can go off into that are really interesting and fun. There's a real
gonna be
drama
interesting to
the
see
game,
if
and
it's gonna be-
emotional stakes to it, and then there's lighter sides to
how
it.
Johnny
Of
can be
course,
very
the
either
music,
antagonistic or
production
not,
design,
you know,
technologically,
towards
how
your
cutting
play.
edge it is. I don't think there'll be a game that looks like this. Yeah, it's intense.
I take the driver, you get his side.
Bye-bye.
Before we get into what it was like to actually work with Keanu Reeves, was it always him that you imagined as Johnny Silverhand? Was there anybody else that you ever considered having for the role?
Yeah, Holly, it was a long, arduous, extended process to imagine what Johnny Silverhand is supposed to look like, what he's supposed to sound like, what he's supposed
Bodies.
to act like.
English
Everybody
adaptation.
and their great-grandmother seemed to have an idea. And the process actually involved a lot of people. The game director, character artists, writers, marketing staff. I could go on. You know, we cast a pretty broad net initially. We considered actors. We considered enlisting actual rock stars, you know, band frontmen to play the role. At one point, we even toyed with the idea of taking and reviving a recently deceased, longtime luminary of the recording industry. Now, some might say that it was a pipe dream to assume that we could do that technologically or otherwise. Well, I'll see you that pipe dream and raise you another, because one could easily say that it was a pipe dream to assume that we could successfully pitch to and ultimately enlist Keanu Reeves to play the role.
Now, I'm sure this is on everybody's mind right now, but what was it actually like to work with Keanu Reeves? Because even he said in the video, this was like nothing he'd ever done before.
A question that I'm sure anybody who gets to work with Keanu has to answer, and I get where it comes from. Keanu is a consummate professional. When he's at work, he's at work. He's completely and utterly focused. To that work, he brings his talent, he brings his art, his technical skill, and overwhelming charm. And yes, the scale and the complexity were and are dazzling. Non-linearities, the variation in attitude, mood, emotion that are required to achieve them, they can be difficult to get your head around. And if you take all of Johnny Silverhand's bits, you know, his screen time, it's like doing the equivalent of many, many feature film roles put together. And we covered all that in a handful of mocap sessions and under 24 VO recording sessions of 4 to 6 hours each.
Wow.
And that took focus, it took control, it took dedication, all of which
that's
Keanu provided
intense.
in heaps.
So tell us a little bit more about the character of Johnny
That's
Silverhand,
insane.
why he's important to the story, but also why it's
Like,
important to have him.
that is a
played by, like,
lot
such a
of work,
powerful
and
personality.
generally
Okay,
considered like
how do
a
I do
short
this
amount
without spoiling too much for gamers? In the broadest sense, I'd say Johnny Silverhand is a co-protagonist of the game rather than a sidekick. I mean, there are buddy bits in the game, but in the end, Johnny has an agenda and he pursues it, and V has an agenda and has to pursue that. And to get things done, V and Johnny have to work together. Some of the things they do are V's, and some of the things they do are Johnny's, and some of them are important to both of them. That bonds gamers, I think, to both characters. Both characters' agendas become equally important. Both characters' continued existence becomes equally important. For any gamer or viewer or reader, what you have to do is create that bond between them and the protagonist or protagonists. You have to make those characters understandable to them, likable to them, lovable to them. With that understanding, even when they do something not entirely admirable or say something reprehensible, you stay committed, you stay involved, you stay bonded to them. And there's no denying casting a powerful personality, somebody who exudes charm by the truckload, helps to further all that.
So Boris, can you tell us, like, what does Keanu bring to Johnny Silverhand?
What Keanu brings to Johnny Silverhand is nothing more and nothing less than Keanu. I could parse that into a string of adjectives, but I kind of think that would be borderline insulting because it wouldn't begin to do him justice. To anybody who's seen the applicable movies, Neo is Keanu, Keanu is Neo. John Wick is Keanu, Keanu is John Wick. John Constantine, Johnny Mnemonic, Jonathan Harker, Johnny Utah, they're all Keanu. And
they're all Johns.
Cyberpunk 2077,
There's a lot of
Silverhand
Johns.
will be Keanu. To my mind, at least,
That's how you know he's
star
going to
power
put in a
is
good performance is
fact
whenever he
and
plays a character that starts with the name
an
John.
important factor for broad sections of the audience out there.
So can you give us more information about the process of motion capture, right? Because we saw you in the video, you know, doing some of it, but really, how does it work?
But I wish I could, Holly, but I'm really no mocap expert, and I can basically tell you what the day looked like, what the process looked like to me. To me, it was a fine day in LA, and I put on a wonky-looking bodysuit with globules all over it, and I put on the head cam, and then we proceeded to block and then play out scenes between V and Johnny, and we did it over and over and over again. As we did that, I must have poked Johnny in the chest hundreds of times, and I must have yelled "fuck off" at Johnny 35 times, you know. Well, I never expected to be doing any of that. No, I never imagined I'd be doing any of that.
Well, Boris, thank you so much for joining us. Your voice in the studio is quite iconic. So whenever I talk to you, I feel like I'm in a trailer. It's amazing.
It's not all that. It's not all that, Holly. Thank you.
Well, from Soviet-era synthesizers to body heat radio, it's time to explore the original score and just some of the radio stations you'll be listening to when you're driving
I love
around
myself a
tonight.
good composition. Screw the license music. I want to know what the actual score is like.
Of emotions in both movies and video games, and Cyberpunk 2077 is no different.
It actually took us a long time to find the right color of the music.
Getting that sound together is almost as important as the actual look of the game itself, because the music is really helping you feel this emotional connection to the game.
Woo. That's nice.
So one of the main ideas was to take the cyberpunk genre out of the 80s and give it a 90s flair. We took elements from rave, IDM, industrial, and make them fit our narrative purposes.
We've decided that close to 100% of our music would be purely electronic.
That's why we tried to stick to analog synths as much as possible, so it's got a warmth to it.
I'm super proud of the team we've managed to gather for this project.
For me, it was basically my own personal aesthetic matching the aesthetic of the game. When I read the brief, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I can be myself. I can make music, and it comes from an honest place.
I love the fact that the music in this game is so varied. So we have some tracks that are super dirty, super heavy.
Oh, is that the girl who plays the electronic cello?
Beautiful and ambient. I'm using all kinds of different
Because
effects.
I think did she go trending with that Wonder Woman
great
video?
to
I could be wrong.
Experiment with the sound and the style.
By the way, chat, I used to play the cello. My cello is actually sitting right behind me. Sorry, this isn't chat. This is YouTube comments.
It's my first time actually doing any drum tracking for a video game. It's been really exciting. It's been a lot of fun.
It's all about making you feel like a perfect killing machine, because that's what you are basically.
Well, I can do that all day long. So you'll just have to tell me what you like, and what you don't like.
Cool. Okay. It's not going to sound like one thing, depending on what part of the city you're in.
We basically scored every quest pretty much with custom assets created specifically for that quest.
We ended up having over 7.5 hours of music in Cyberpunk.
Working on Cyberpunk has just been
Jeez,
insane. I can seriously say that I've never worked with such a bunch of mad people in my life, and mad brilliant.
The gear that we use comes out of boutique shops, or they are vintage synthesizers like this Polyvox.
I really hope all this effort put into creating this score pays off with satisfying and enjoyable listening and gaming experience.
I'm excited. I just got done listening to John Paschetto's score for Spider-Man Miles Morales. 2020 has been a good year for scores. So I gotta finish Valhalla's score. I gotta listen to that.
A mother who popped you out on the steps of an orphanage once and now stops you to ask if you got a smoke for her. And now, a shout out to all the lowlifes over at the Atlantis. Ladies and gents, here's that all-time classic in Night City.
Hey, yo, run the jewels.
Soundtrack is one of the key elements we use to build believable world. We've invited artists from around the world, incredible talents, incredible musicians, to write and produce songs just for us for this project.
The soundtrack for Cyberpunk is insane. So the soundtrack being all the songs that they've got going on, whether it's on the radio or on the background, all these just amazing bands.
We've got over 150 custom genre-bending tracks, all waiting for you to discover them by yourselves.
You know, the reason I wanted to be a part of Cyberpunk is, well, basically I know The Witcher is super sick, and then I actually got to play a preview of the game, which was fucking incredible.
I've always wanted to do something connected to video games.
I only have like one song by Grimes. I think it's Oblivion. I think that's the only song I have.
Imagine what it would be like being a character in that game. The person that's a musician in this world and this time has grew up in that space.
This isn't just some fun shit. There's also an intellectual and spiritual history to this world that's been constructed for you, you know?
We want to provide you with the soundtrack to fucking shit up. Like, how can you not want to be a part of that?
Hello, Mike.
For those of you who can't wait to hear more from our composers, we're going to be releasing a special 6-track Cyberpunk 2077 EP featuring tracks from the game's original score onto streaming services for you to enjoy for free, and they'll be live at the end of this episode, so you can give them a listen later.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
We want to introduce you to a new mode that will allow you to disable certain copyrighted tracks. We know that for content creators, licensed music can sometimes be problematic. So with this new mode, you'll be able to disable a small number of selected tracks which could cause some issues, replacing them with a different song, helping to avoid any problems. If you go
That's
to
amazing. Thank you. Oh my god, it's gonna be like so much
in the
easier.
options as needed. And for PC
Oh my
players,
gosh.
you'll be able to turn it on and off in the game options. Don't forget, as with all episodes of Night City Wire, if you're tuning in late or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channels soon. Now, from Polish to Chinese, When Cyberpunk launches, it will have VO in 10 different languages. So we're going to take
Jesus.
a closer look at the Jolly technology, which is ensuring each and every one is as authentic as possible.
So hi,
Because
my
the
name is
amount of
Sarah
work that
Watland.
goes into
I
this
am
stuff
the
is
CEO
insane.
of Jolly
To
Research
translating
in Toronto,
games?
Ontario.
Oh my
In this
god.
video, we're going to show you a little bit about Jolly the software and Jolly in action within the world of Cyberpunk 2077.
Maintenant, tu vas répondre à mes questions honnêtement, sans détour.
Rayfield's mine.
Скажи заплатить 2 раза, заплатишь 2 раза.
Jolly is a
That
suite
voice
of
fits
tools
him.
and a suite of services that result in what we think is the coolest and best and highest quality facial performance on characters.
Oh. Is that supposed to sound familiar?
It's automatically generated on a face based on audio dialogue, audio speech from a voice actor.
Slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the soft activated your hormone blockers. Nothing happened. You're alive and well.
What Jolly tries to do is it tries to get to the root of what is being expressed in the vocal performance and put that on a 3D character.
That's Rogue. Best fixer in all of Night City.
There is just an incredible amount of performance in this game.
Sure.
A procedural solution allows you to animate over and over and over again at tremendous scale. Jolly is what powers every single character in the game of Cyberpunk 2077 in all of the languages that the game has been localized for.
I can't even fathom the code needed to make this algorithm work.
All you're doing
That
is
it-
changing an attribute. For
it's
example,
insane.
speech style. If you wanted your character to shout instead of mumble, instead of issuing a set of commands that redo the animation, instead you click an attribute going from, in this case, mumble to shout.
But you walk. You bleed, but you walk. You bleed, but you walk. You breathe.
If the lip sync is right, you don't notice. If the faces match and match the performance, you don't notice because you're too busy paying attention to how awesome the game is, how much you care about these characters, how what you're gonna do, and that's what we want. That to me is that's the sizzle.
Don't you know you owe the sheriff a word when you pay his town a visit? To tell him what's brought you here. Maybe even over a cup of coffee.
Now we're excited to reveal digital and in-game rewards for Cyberpunk 2077. It's our way of saying thank you for your support. Now, every copy of the game comes with digital downloadable goodies such as the art book, the original score, and a digital comic, all from the Cyberpunk universe. But there's more. You can also claim in-game items for Cyberpunk 2077. For example, you could be rocking the Wolf School jacket for simply connecting the game to your GOG account. And if you have other CD Projekt Red games, such as The Witcher or Gwent, you can get even more. And it works both ways. If you connect the game to your GOG account, you can also unlock special in-game items for Gwent, the Witcher card game, such as the samurai-inspired card and coin back, and the breathtaking title. Now, this new My Reward program is for everybody. No matter which platform you're playing Cyberpunk on, you'll be able to get your digital goodies and in-game items. Now, this is just the beginning, and there'll be more items coming in the future, and we'll have more information on My Rewards soon. As always, don't forget that if you've missed anything or if you just want to watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channels soon. So before we take a look at that new gameplay trailer, we just want to reveal that a number of
it's probably gonna be
media
PC.
from all over the world have been playing Cyberpunk.
Only thing I want to see at this
2077,
point is
and
PS5
you'll be able to
gameplay
read
for my
their
PS5,
latest
and that is
impressions
it.
when this episode
I'm
of Night
excited
City
for that.
Wire finishes, so you can go and check them out. So now, let's wrap up this episode and take a look at that brand new gameplay trailer.
It's been real, Holly. It's been real.
Engine's been hit.
Get us out of here.
I'm losing control.
Definitely PC.
At CD Projekt Red, we dedicate ourselves to telling immersive stories. Yet with every new project, we set out to make our games bigger, More complex, deeply engaging.
Come on, V. Let's get you home.
Cyberpunk 2077 marries exploration of a vast open world with kinetic combat, story-changing player choices, and robust character development, all to bring you into our vision of the dark future.
You ever feel
That
like your city
jawline,
doesn't
though.
give you a choice? You either burn alive in it, or you never existed at all.
The year is 2077. An economic crisis culminating in nuclear conflict has left America in pieces. With most of the continent degenerating into lawless war zones, people from all over have converged on the already overcrowded Night City, one of the world's last great megalopolises. A hub amassing the best in resources and know-how, and home to manufacturers of cutting-edge technologies, Night City continues to offer the promise of a civilized future.
What? No, this isn't happening.
Oh, but it is.
But in the city's streets, a merciless struggle for power.
You get an arm,
rages.
and you get an arm.
Gangs, corporate agents, hustlers, religious cultists, politicians, and all manner of criminals strive to outplay one another. Ordinary people get caught in the crossfire.
Looking for justice. In Night City, I seek revenge. Much more feasible here.
In this world, consumed by never-ending conflict, sometimes only an outsider will get the job done.
Elizabeth tells me you have answers for us. I'm all ears.
And that's you, an urban mercenary, a cyber-enhanced gun for hire.
You seem to understand each other. Take this, too.
As a mercenary, you swear no allegiance. You've chosen the outlaw life and trust that your abilities will carry you up Night City's ruthless, underground social ladder.
Heart of Night City. That's it right there.
To thrive as a merc, you need the right combination of gear, skills, and reputation.
Dex had a load to say about you. I hope he wasn't overselling.
With the money you earn, you can turn yourself into a living weapon, buying guns and enhancements in the hundreds.
A throat punch, though? Oh no.
As you roam the city's streets, you gain the experience you need to upgrade abilities and acquire perks. Combine the right skills and gear to create a gunslinger with inhuman reflexes. A stealthy netrunner with command of all surrounding tech.
And they're still keeping the net running very close to the chest.
In Cyberpunk 2077, you steal a prototype biochip that can set you up for life.
Being filthy rich.
When its sealed container is ruptured, the only way to prevent the biochip from failing is to slot it into your head. It turns out it contains the digitized soul of Johnny Silverhand, a dead rocker boy with violence on his mind.
You mean to say there's an actual terrorist in my head, right now?
He's out for revenge. Aims to bring down the megacorp that made the chip.
Do whatever it takes to stop him, defeat him, gut him.
What is in your head can shift the balance of power in Night City. The high and mighty will do anything to lay their hands on it.
Told you I'd end you someday.
Flashback.
The choices you make will shape your story and determine how events unfold.
V, you gotta take him down. That's why we're here.
But not everything in Night City is a matter of life and death. Sometimes it's about style, choosing your look, your ride, your pastime, who's at your side. Choosing how you spend your dirty money.
They really put an amusement park in the game?
Welcome to
Is
the
there
next
such a thing as a
generation of
throat
open
punching
world
build?
adventure.
Because I will make a throat
Immerse
punching
yourself
build.
in Cyberpunk 2077.
In this week's video, can you beat Cyberpunk 2077 with only throat punches? Very cool. Very cool indeed. I think that's it, right? I don't think there's any afterwards. Yep, no, that's it. Well, they certainly went out with a bang. I will say that. That was a really good episode. Like I said, I absolutely adore behind the scenes of things like this, because as much as it comes to talking about video games and we talk about like the overall package of a video game or its presentation, or we talk about the overall score that IGN gave it a blase blah out of 10. Despite discussing all that stuff, so many people work incredibly hard to bring these games to life that get boiled down to a score of, you know, whatever it is out of 10, or whether people, I love it, I hate it, you know, the hyperboles of how we feel about certain things. But genuinely, it really is incredible to see how much hard work goes into making these games. And like I literally cannot wrap my head around how someone comes up with the number of like ones and zeros necessary to create an algorithm that matches the different languages that are spoken and matches the facial features towards them. Like, that's insane. Like, that is an absolutely insane work. Or the composition of the scores and the multiple composers who are working together to create a sound for every single mission and all sorts of stuff like that. That stuff is just amazing to me. Stuff is just absolutely fantastic. That's why I say it's like, sure, I brought up, I had some gripes about the console gameplay that I saw, where it's like certain textures looked a little low quality, the lack of NPCs in certain areas, combat maybe looking a little stiff, but me not knowing if that's because of the frame rate of the video that was uploaded, the frame rate of the actual console that they were recording on to upload, the condension of the compression of the video from being uploaded on YouTube, a whole lot of factors going in that regard. But despite all of that, what really makes a game is the love, detail, and attention that goes into stuff like this, and that goes into the score, the music, the story, the characters. Those are the things that are going to truly matter most at the end of this day, and at the end of this day for this game. Because I've played games that looked a lot worse, haven't I? This guy, he played Marvel's Avengers, okay? So, you know, I can find the joy out of, you know, very, very terrible games. So I think no matter what happens at the end of the day and what the scores end up being for Cyberpunk, I think this is still, regardless, a game that everybody involved should be incredibly proud of, because it took a lot of hard work to make this game, whether or not it was because of mismanagement and them having to start over and re-gut things a lot of times over the last 8 years, not too sure. But we're here now, and it's almost December 10th. I don't think there's going to be any more delays, because I get asked that question a lot on stream, if I think the game's going to be delayed anymore. No, I don't think so at this point. Also, it costs way too much money. We're talking millions of dollars would be lost if they did not go ahead and go through with this release date. But yeah, I think it looks good. I think it looks good. I think the thing just to wait for are just going to be the reviews. And for me personally, I'm waiting to see some PS5 gameplay. Like, I'm just gonna wait for that Digital Foundry, whenever Digital Foundry releases their video, and they're just like, this is all comparisons, and these are the numbers we found. It moves at a 660 FPS refresh rate, with a certain variables here and there. I'm like, oh god, I don't even know how you measured all this stuff. So yeah, that's like the only thing worth waiting for. But here we are. We're at the final lap of things, and I'm excited to see how this saga turns out, because regardless of how this game ends up turning out, this has been one of the most fascinating developments ever for a video game. And like I said earlier in the video, we're never going to see another game made like this ever again. Whether it's how long it took, the amount of changing visions that went into this, I highly doubt they're ever going to make a cross-generational game like this ever again, because of everything they went through for it. The stuff with the stocks, you know, the discussions that generated about crunching and what qualifies as it, the overtime, all that sort of stuff, and the delays and expectations. A lot of interesting discussions have been generated from this game that end up translating over to all of gaming in general and the industry in general. So there's no denying that it's had that much of a cultural impact in just talking about games as a whole. So it's been an incredibly fascinating journey, and this is one heck of a way to conclude the Night City Wire, man. This is it. this is it. We're in the final laps, and we're gonna see how everything turns out. I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought about all this footage in the comment sections down below. Yeah, so go down there, let me know what you thought of everything. And also, while you're down there, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe to become a part of the GeekSpeakNation channel. And make sure you set that bell icon to all so you always get notified of when I post a video. Or go over to Discord, which is going to be linked in the comment sections and in the pinned comment down below. Go over there to Discord, where we are going to have some lovely discussions about stuff, and you can always stay updated when I post a video or when I go live at twitch.tv/GeekSpeakGaming, which by the time I upload this video, I may or may not be live playing Mortal Kombat 11. Hopefully I am if I've done things right. But with that being said, guys, yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me. I think that is the conclusion. And yeah, they ended it on quite a bang of an episode of really paying homage to the hard work that goes into making games like this. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Daniel, and don't forget to get geeky.